Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are here, you're probably curious about what is it that certain women do that just drives men wild. Well, you're in for a treat because today I am breaking down 7 feminine traits that men find irresistible in women. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm Kimberly Anderson. I'm an international dating and relationship expert, and I guide professional divorced women over 35 go from single, stuck, and frustrated to find their soulmate with style and with ease. But before we dive into the real reason that you're here today, could you do me a favor? It means a lot, and it may help other women like you who are going through some difficult times. With a simple push of a button, let's consider it our ladies' agreement. I make the content and I do my very best to help you as much as I can completely for free. And in return, you support the community by hitting the subscribe button, by giving this video a thumbs up, and leaving your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much. Also, I'm currently enrolling a limited number of women into my exclusive program called the Soulmate System to help you find the love of your life. Now, if this resonates with you, check out the link to my website in the description to book a call and see if we're a good fit for the next cohort. But don't wait because spots are filling up fast. All right, to better understand the 7 traits that men find irresistible, I really need to give you a little bit of context. And that is, ironically, the very thing that bring us women massive career success is the exact thing that can literally kill our love life. Last week, I had the privilege of being invited as a speaker to the Global Win Conference in Rome, Italy, where I spoke to over 100 high-achieving women about how career success can leave you single or unhappy in love, and also how to awaken your feminine essence. Now, the response was incredible, and that's exactly why I've created this video to share some of the traits that I talked about to help you learn not only to attract, but also to keep a man in your life. So first, let's talk about the challenge that we professional women face. Now, it's something that I know all too well from my experience, having spent many years previously in a corporate career. I was immersed in a very masculine environment, constantly leading, making decisions, chasing goals. But when it came to my romantic life, something wasn't clicking. I realized that the very traits that made me really successful in my career were also causing an imbalance in my love life. Now, I do not want this happening to you, so stay tuned right up to the end of this video to really understand why these feminine traits are so powerful. So let's be honest. We modern women are taught to prioritize masculine traits, right? Like being strong, being independent, being self-sufficient. And while those qualities are important, right? When we don't balance them with our feminine side, we can unintentionally push men away, creating an imbalance and a lack of polarity in our romantic relationships. To be clear, when I talk about these traits, I'm not talking about gender here though, right? Okay? We both have masculine and feminine traits when we're born. The trouble starts though when there's an imbalance in romantic relationships. Here are some examples of masculine energy. Leading, making decisions, taking an initiative, going after a goal, protecting and providing. And some feminine energy traits are feeling, okay? Being in touch with our emotions, intuition, nurturing, and receiving. Now, when we come home from work, we often carry the same masculine energy, the masculine traits that we use in the workplace into our personal lives. And the impact on dating, for example, can be really frustrating. So does any of this sound familiar? Getting ghosted, struggling to attract or to keep men, facing competition from men, or worst of all, being put in the dreaded friend zone. Trust me, I've been there, and it's a horrible feeling being in the friend zone. Now, in relationships, this masculine energy creates even bigger problems. A lack of attraction, a loss of sexual desire, a man feeling emasculated. So when a man's masculine energy decreases and his feminine side takes over, what happens? We often start to lose respect for him. There can be conflict. There can be a breakdown in communication, or a partner will then look to feel valued or desired elsewhere, right? And that winds up to a breakup or a divorce. Now, here's an image that sums it up. I call it the mirror effect. When you're predominantly in your masculine energy, it's like a man literally is looking into the mirror and seeing another man. If he's interested in a woman, he's not looking for another man. But when you tap into your feminine traits and embrace your feminine energy, the opposite happens. He will be magnetically drawn to you, right? He'll want to please you, to satisfy you, to provide and to protect you. He'll want to be your hero, and he will want to treat you like a goddess. Ladies, I have made tons of mistakes with this myself, and I have learned the hard way. And that's why I'm here to help you make your journey quicker and easier. So let's get into these 7 traits, and let's start with the first one. And the first one is to let him lead. Now, this may sound cliche or be counterintuitive for many of us, but hear me out. Many women I speak with proudly say, I'm independent. I don't need a man. I can do everything perfectly on my own. And I admit, I used to think like this too. And I'm going to be really honest with you. This is a recipe for staying single. When I talk about letting a man lead, it's not about blindly following him like you're clueless or you're going to lose your identity. It's about letting him lead through small but powerful things, like letting him invite you out, letting him lead a text conversation, or walk ahead of you to open the door for you. Now, some of you women may be saying, I don't need a man to hold the door for me, or I don't need him to order the bottle of wine at a restaurant. I'm perfectly capable to do this myself. And I get it. That is not the point though, dear sister. It is about a man's innate need to feel like he's in the driver's seat, right, in the relationship. Men are hunters. They're goal-oriented, and they want the satisfaction of satisfying you. If you don't allow space for him to lead, to do things for you, you're reflecting back that same masculine energy that we talked about. He feels that he has no purpose. He'll feel like he has no drive. And as I mentioned before, he won't be attracted to seeing another man sitting across from him. So if you can allow him to lead and not want to take control of everything and decide everything and try to arrange and fix things for yourself, you will see a huge shift in a man's behavior towards you and his attraction to you. I hope you're enjoying this video so far, and just a gentle reminder about our ladies agreement. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And I have a question for you. Do you feel like you're used to using masculine traits in your approach when you're dating or when you've been in past relationships? And how did it impact you? Share your experiences in the comments and help other women who are watching this video. All right, the second feminine trait is to be receptive. Now, this is about allowing. So like I said, it's not about you being incapable or about you being weak. It's about allowing space for a man to take a place in your life. Men gain so much satisfaction from playing a role and pleasing a woman. If you can receive what he offers you, how he tries to please you, and replace criticism with gratitude, even for small things he does, you will see how happy this makes him. Let's say, for example, he buys you a bouquet of flowers. Don't say, oh, you shouldn't have bought these for me. I can't accept them. Instead, accept them graciously by saying something like, oh my gosh, these flowers are so beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm really touched. And show him, with your most genuine smile, and smile with your eyes. He will feel happy that you are receptive to his gesture, and he will then be encouraged to want to do more to please you. You can also think about being receptive as literally a natural feminine trait. Like literally our bodies are made to receive a man in intimate relations. And a man is literally built to give to us in lovemaking. So being receptive is being literally part of nature. It's part of being in your feminine. But often we're out of touch with this natural aspect of ourselves, right? So knowing how to receive graciously and being at ease with this will increase his attraction for you. Now, the third feminine trait is softness. When I'm talking about softness, I'm referring to the gentleness of one's voice and ways of moving, perhaps even in the way that we dress. Now, we're tapping into the divine feminine here. So, softness literally is about how to be feminine. This softness is so attractive to men because it's something that a masculine man doesn't have, right? And it creates that polarity, that strong attraction between a man and a woman. A man's natural inclination is to be in awe of soft femininity because he sees it as beautiful and he sees it as magnetically attractive. Now think about, for example, Marilyn Monroe. When she sang to President Kennedy, okay, I'm not good at singing this, but happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. In her soft, sexy voice. And just, in general, Marilyn Monroe was always soft and seductive. And that's why she had such a huge sex appeal to men. Other examples of women with this soft feminine trait, a little bit less sexy, but very soft, was also like Princess Diana and the Italian actress Monica Bellucci, for example. Okay, now the fourth feminine trait is flow. Now, in my experience, these feminine traits truly come alive when we have done the inner work. If we haven't taken time to look inward and clear emotional roadblocks, it can feel almost impossible to access this softer, more feminine side of ourselves. It's like trying to open a door that has been locked for years, but you just can't force it open, right? You need to gently work through what is holding you back to fully embrace these feminine traits. Flow is a challenging one, especially for high-achieving women like us. When structure and control are literally part of our daily lives, letting go and going with the flow can feel foreign. Trust me, I have so been there. And it's something that I'm still working on. Flow is something about not being rigid in how things must be done. Think about like how water flows effortlessly, right? How waves move. It's fluid, it's loose, it's relaxed, right? It's able to adapt to whatever comes its way. And this trait is highly attractive to men. And it also creates a space for them to step up and to lead. Now, let me be clear that flow doesn't mean being passive or being helpless. Quite the opposite. Men love women who know what they want and have clear boundaries. But the magic of flow is in knowing what you want while at the same time allowing life to unfold naturally. And when you embody flow, life becomes so much more enjoyable because you are not trying to control every little thing, right? You're allowing yourself to trust the process, to let go, and to be open to surprises and to new adventures. And this is not just a feminine trait that men love, it's also vital for your own mental and spiritual health. And that's, of course, the most important. Men by nature are drawn to variety, whether it's in the bedroom or it's in daily life. By going with the flow, you invite lightness and playfulness into your relationship, keeping things fresh and exciting. This flexibility and openness will make him love that airy, spontaneous side of you, and it keeps the connection alive. Which brings me beautifully to number 5, which is to be playful and lighthearted. Now, I've found that nothing shuts down a man faster than when I get too serious in situations that don't call for it. On the flip side, there's nothing men love more than a playful, lighthearted woman. And let's be honest here, men's egos can be fragile. Rather than putting up a fight or debating, many times they'll just walk away. I've seen it happen countless times, especially in text exchanges. If a woman keeps things light and playful, men are drawn in. They see it as an invitation to engage and to chase, almost like a fun game. A gallant man who's truly interested in charming a woman will be trying to say and do all the right things to win her over. It's like nature's version of a mating dance. And okay, while I know it may sound funny, think about animals performing their mating rituals. Now imagine a beautiful male bird or handsome male bird doing a mating dance and 2 stunning female birds. Okay, so he struts around the first one, trying to get closer, clucking and moving his head to catch her attention, but she's indifferent. She sits down and starts preening her feathers, almost ignoring him. Now, the second female bird, she does something different. She fluffs up her feathers. She tilts her head. She clucks back to him with a soft, inviting sound. She's receptive to his approach, giving him the signal that it's okay to come closer. So which bird do you think he'll be more attracted to? Now, of course, the playful and the receptive one, right? As much as we might laugh at the analogy, it's the same with us humans. Men are naturally attracted to women who are playful, lighthearted, and open to their gestures. And that leads me to the number 6 feminine trait, and that is vulnerability. Now, this is where you want to leave behind those job interview style questions that you are so used to asking at work, because they're not for your dates. And let's stop thinking that a man is interested in your diplomas and your career progression. You can literally see a man's face soften when you show him your vulnerable side. Men love this because it reveals a more fragile, authentic part of you that they can truly connect with. Now, of course, vulnerability doesn't mean oversharing, especially in the early stages of dating. Be mindful, of course, of being discreet, but don't shy away from being open about your personal aspects of your life that shape who you are. I can remember sharing that when I first moved to Paris, for example, from the US, it was one of the hardest times of my life. And I had to navigate life at the time without speaking the language, without having any friends or family around, and I felt incredibly isolated. But when sharing that struggle, it allowed me to connect with my date in a way that I hadn't expected before. So when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, it gives men permission to feel comfortable with us and in turn to be vulnerable themselves. It creates a space of emotional intimacy that's really hard to resist. And when we're truly tapped into our feminine essence, we open the door for an even deeper trait, and that is sensuality. Now, this one can be tough for us, ladies, because many of us have been taught that being sexual or sensual is somehow a bad thing. Now, there's so much shame around women's sexuality that we've been told that if we express our sensual side, that we're somehow, we're sluts or we're easy and all these negative labels. But here's the truth. Sensuality is a huge turn on for men. And it is one of the key traits that can really make a man feel addicted to you. So let's face it, a relationship without intimacy, right, is just a friendship. Okay? So embracing your sensuality and tapping into this side of yourself is a powerful asset when it comes to attracting and keeping a man's attention. Now, we all know that physical intimacy is important for most men, but it's also incredibly important for your own health and well-being as a woman. It's time to let go of negative, beliefs that you may have about your sensuality and start reconnecting with your feeling and your senses. Allow yourself to embrace the idea that pleasure is healthy and it's a natural part of your relationship to both yourself and your partner. There are so many ways to explore this, and honestly, it is a topic probably worth diving into in another video. Leave me a comment if you're interested. And if you've enjoyed this video, I have a great video on 7 signs that he's attracted to you at the end of this video, so check it out. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been valuable for you. Thank you so much for watching up until the end. And until next time, I'm of course sending you lots of love.